President Donald Trump pleads not guilty to 34 criminal charges in a Manhattan courthouse this afternoon.
And in sports, both Ohio baseball and softball look to stay hot with Tuesday night matchups. Newswatch starts right now.
New changes are being made to Athens City's single-use plastic bag ban. Good evening, I'm Morgan Anderson.
And I'm Lexi Lepoff. Last night, Athens City Council met and amended the single-use plastic ban ordinance, which would ban stores and vendors from providing single-use plastic bags to customers. Councilmember Alan Swank proposed 3 new amendments at the meeting. The amendments included changing the effective date from August 1st to January 1st, 2024. It also clarified enforcement and changed the penalty for anyone who breaks the code. A minor misdemeanor and a fine of $100 was the original consequence, but Councilmember Swank is amending that.
A violation of Section 11.13.02 shall be an administrative offense requiring a fine of $150. Any store or vendor cited with an offense of this section who does not pay the required administrative fine within 30 days shall receive a minor misdemeanor citation into court.
All 3 amendments passed, and the ordinance will now be brought back to the next regular session for the second reading. For years, West Elementary stood tall on Central Avenue in Athens. Now the site is under construction to make way for an exciting development in the Athens community.
Newswatch reporter Madison Moore gives us a look on the update.
Making her way to the top of the hill, that was once West Elementary. Ohio University senior Sydney Hosick remembers the 7 years she spent learning and growing in the building.
I just think of all of the teachers that I had throughout the years. Everyone was always just so kind and accommodating to the students.
West Elementary, a school that housed students for over 100 years, has officially been torn down.
I knew it was coming for a really long time. People had been talking about it since I was still going there.
Because of its age and location, Athens City School Superintendent Tom Gibbs says the district decided to demolish the school when it was coming up with plans to consolidate elementary schools from 5 to 3.
We knew that there would be a couple of locations that would not be used. This site would be one of the most difficult to build on because it's a relatively small footprint.
But the grounds won't be abandoned. A soccer field will take its place. Kosick says she's happy the area will be filled with kids again.
I'm glad that they're using something with the space rather than, I think, if they put another building there, it would just feel kind of weird, I guess.
This fall, the field will be home to Athens middle school soccer teams.
It'll take a while for the grass to grow in. Quite honestly, our experience is that with the soil around here, we need to reseed repeatedly in order to get the grass to where it's good enough to really be a playable surface.
Construction started in late January, and it should be completed in 6 to 8 weeks. For Newswatch, I'm Madison Moore in Athens.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Tuesday. And I hope you all were able to get out there and enjoy that beautiful weather and nice temperature we've been seeing. 77 degrees, and we've been seeing clear skies too, so not too much sun moving, and humidity is a little bit lower as well, with some calm winds as well. Now they're coming from the south, but it's been very nice that we've seen, and I know especially for those of you who have suffered throughout the weekend because of those power outages that happened across Southeast Ohio, I hope you're able to get those restored and that you're back up and moving. You're able to even get out today and maybe even walk a dog, or dress up a little less, not having to layer so much. So that was really nice as well. And that's all across the board too. As you can see, not only in Athens did we see some higher temperatures. Now northwest, of course, we're looking, and we do see that it's some cooler temperatures around here, up here further northwest, but further down south we have those warmer temperatures, which is pretty nice as well. We've been waiting for this. It's springtime, like where is it at? So that's really nice to see as well. And then the clouds as well, we're pushing on through, not too much, but a lot of sun has been able to peek through, so that's great too. And then for tonight, we are looking at thunderstorms, a 20% chance of thunderstorms, Overnight low is 61, but we do want to make sure that we keep a lookout for that, because that is, again, that could pick up throughout the night too. So if you do have plans for tonight, definitely be sure and make sure that you are aware of those chances of thunderstorms and just be prepared.
And Silver, with the skies being so nice, we're seeing those thunderstorms you mentioned, but people might experience power outages. Tell me more.
Yeah, that is right, Morgan. So now companies like AEP say its crews will be ready, and they want to remind people to make sure they have an emergency kit and plan in place in case these power outages do occur and happen as well, too.
That's definitely good to know. Hopefully everyone stays safe out there tonight in case of any power outages.
Absolutely.
Yeah, more sad news coming out of Pike County. 3 people are dead after a crash involving a semi-truck yesterday. According to officials with the Ohio State Highway Patrol, 34-year-old Stephen Stapleton did not stop at a stop sign while driving northbound on Route 335 and was struck by a commercial truck traveling eastbound on Route 32. Stapleton, along with 36-year-old Krista Stapleton and 73-year-old Stephen F. Stapleton, were all pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the semi-truck was not injured, and the crash remains under investigation. A new law taking effect today, cracking down on distracted driving in Ohio. This law will make the use of a cell phone or electronic device illegal, meaning drivers can be pulled over and cited. This will include some exceptions, such as allowing people to use their devices at traffic lights or to call law enforcement in emergencies. While drivers can be pulled over, fines for breaking the law won't begin until October 4th. For now, drivers can expect a warning.
Early voting in Ohio begins today, and Ohio is introducing a sweeping new election law. For the first time this year, voters will be required to show photo identification to vote in person, whether or not they're voting early or on Election Day. It also eliminates previously acceptable non-photo options such as a paycheck or a utility bill. State-issued photo IDs will be available for free beginning April 7th. Governor Mike DeWine isn't commenting on whether or not he supports a bill ending the death penalty in Ohio. DeWine was recently asked whether or not he supported a bipartisan bill in the state's Senate banning the use of capital punishment in Ohio. He responded saying, quote, "There has been no executions in Ohio since I became governor, and I don't anticipate there will be. This is not the first time a bill ending capital punishment in the state has been introduced." And supporters of the current bill believe DeWine would support the ban, citing that then Senator DeWine was one of the sponsors of the death penalty law when he was state senator in 1981. West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey is running for governor next year. Following his announcement today in Harpers Ferry, Morrisey is going on a 3-day tour where he will stop in 7 cities across the state. He's not alone in his governor race, however. 7 other Republicans have also filed pre-candidacy papers with the Secretary of State's office. No Democrats have entered the race just yet. The current governor, Jim Justice, has served both of his available terms, leaving a seat open for a new candidate next year. Coming up after the break, Trump appears in court today, pleading not guilty to 34 criminal charges. Plus, the Tennessee governor is expanding his proposed school safety bill. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
And while tomorrow it looks like we're going to experience some pretty nice temperatures, definitely be on the lookout for those thunderstorms, which I'll talk more about in my full forecast weather coming up next.
People ask, what was the American strategy? The Americans did not have a strategy for Afghanistan.
Drawing on years of reporting from both sides of the war.
You set off a car bomb, it's going to kill innocent civilians.
This was fighting.
It wasn't clear they had the patience or the understanding.
We asked an enormous amount of those on the ground in particular.
Missteps and miscalculations.
Why did we fail on our mission, and who was responsible?
Part 1 premieres Tuesday, April 4th, 10, 9 Central, only on PBS.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, heirloom surprises revealed.
That's astonishing. Just my great-grandmother's old cards.
I hope my daughters are going to be interested in it enough to pass it on down through the generations.
I'll say your great-great-great-grandfather looks like Paul McCartney, even with the British haircut, yeah. Right?
It's Antiques Roadshow, next time from the Idaho Botanical Garden in Boise.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
These adorable, seemingly passive fur balls are in fact the ultimate survivors. Within their bite-sized frame lies a fighter, able to outwit the many predators that surround them. From frozen forests to concrete jungles, we take you deep into their changing world. We'll reveal just how remarkable rabbits really are.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Giant craters were spotted in Russia.
The frozen world of permafrost is melting.
The ground exploded,
releasing planet-warming gases.
There's a huge amount of methane and natural gas trapped in the permafrost.
What will it mean for our climate?
It's a scary wild card in the climate change story.
Could really affect everyone on Earth.
Arctic sinkholes on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Former President Donald Trump pleads not guilty to 34 criminal charges in a Manhattan courthouse this afternoon. Trump arrived at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office earlier today, where he was placed under arrest and in police custody before the arraignment. The hearing was quick and routine, but represents a historic moment in the U.S., being that this is the first time a current or former president has faced criminal charges. The New York judge in the case denied a request by several media organizations, keeping TV cameras out of the newsroom, allowing 5 pool photographers to snap some stills just before the arraignment got underway. Mike Valerio is in New York with the latest developments.
Former President Donald Trump indicted and arraigned on 34 counts related to business fraud. Tuesday's legal proceedings relatively short, but its impact on American history seismic, unprecedented. Trump is now the first ever former or sitting president to be criminally charged.
He's frustrated, he's upset, but I'll tell you what, he's motivated, and it's not going to stop him, and it's not going to slow him down, and it's exactly what he expected.
The charges center on a 2016 hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels, facilitated by his then personal lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen, who was convicted for his role in that payment.
34 false statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
Trump is already looking ahead towards a possible trial, posting Tuesday morning that it should be moved to Staten Island because Manhattan would be, quote, very unfair. Security around the New York City courthouse was ramped up ahead of Tuesday's arraignment, with overall peaceful crowds gathering both for and against Trump, including a brief appearance by one of his most vocal allies on the Hill.
This is the former President of the United States of America, and the government has been weaponized against him.
The next step for Trump, back at home at Mar-a-Lago Tuesday night, where his lawyers have said they'll dissect every charge in the now unsealed indictment and plan their defense. In New York, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Trump plans to meet with supporters and allies in the ballroom at Mar-a-Lago tonight. As of today, the next hearing date in the case is scheduled for December 4th in New York.
The White House says President Joe Biden is not focusing on the indictment of former President Trump. Instead, he is carrying on with other important business of the day, meeting with his Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. According to a White House official, they discussed the risk and opportunities of artificial intelligence. They are looking at the importance of protecting individual rights and national security amid innovation. Biden is also set to call on Congress to pass a bipartisan privacy legislation to protect kids and limit the amount of personal data tech companies collect. Students in Tennessee are demanding lawmakers protect them from school shootings, a week after a shooter took the lives of 3 children and 3 adults. The tragedy in Nashville has the governor expanding his proposed school safety bill. Amy Kiley reports student protesters wanted to go further.
Amid visitations today for 2 of the 6 people killed in last week's Nashville school shooting, students are demanding those deaths not be in vain.
If legislators really wanted to protect our kids, they would take action against what is killing every single day.
Hundreds gathering at the state capitol yesterday to demand stricter gun laws.
We know it's not drag queens. We know it's not books that is harming our children. It's guns, and we need action today.
Tennessee Governor Bill Lee is expanding his school safety plan, but not by adding gun restrictions. Like the original bill, it would provide armed guards, enhance security, and boost mental health resources. It would add requirements for locking school doors and active shooter training for private guards.
What could we have done better to prevent this from happening?
Meanwhile, police now say the shooter acted alone and fired 152 rounds. They say the 28-year-old planned the attack for months, studying other mass murders.
The most beneficial thing that can come from reading the manifesto written by the shooter is, were there red flags? We can see the descent into this.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Athens, we have been seeing a temperature high of 76 and a temperature low of 61 with mostly cloudy skies. So it has been some really nice weather today. I know I've seen a lot of people out walking their dogs or even just getting out and enjoying that beautiful weather that the clouds have allowed for some sun to come on through. So I know a lot of people have been excited about that with the spring temperature. Now a little bit, we've seen scatter of rain in the past few hours, but it's not anything that's severely crazy or anything. So especially compared to this week or the past weekend where we've seen a lot of rain come on through. So that is really nice as well for this to be a happy and great Tuesday. Cloud movement, again, as we see that cloud is pushing on through. But what I really want to talk to you guys about is actually that these thunderstorms that we're going to be experiencing tonight that I talked about earlier, these thunderstorms, 20% and 61 overnight low, that's okay while we do want to be cautious and keep a lookout for that. What's more important is these temperature high that we're looking at tomorrow. Now temperature high is going to be 85 degrees. That's great, beautiful, seems nice, but 30% possible chance of thunderstorms. That is what I want to talk to you guys about more. That cold front that we see right here that's pushing on through is actually going to come through and it's going to yield for some severe thunderstorms, and that's what we want to be on the lookout for. Now those thunderstorms, of course, that's going to bring rain, and it's a lot of thunderstorms happening around. As you can see, it's covering pretty much most of the area, so we want to look out for that, even pushing into Thursday. Now it's going to pick up Wednesday night, which is where I talk about that 30%. So in the morning of Wednesday, you should be okay, but Thursday, again, we see that rain coming on through, and now that is going to bring for some rain too, a lot of heavy rain downfall, so a lot of pouring for rain. So if you do have plans and you're traveling somewhere, again, turn around, don't drown. That's what we want to say here and emphasize to you guys, so you can be safe on those roads tonight and even like throughout the week, of course. But our 3-day outlook, Wednesday, again, that thunderstorm, those thunderstorms are going to pick up. That's why I keep telling you guys, those thunderstorms you want to be on the lookout for, because those power outages, that's also another thing. I know we had some this weekend, but again, we're looking at some more possibly coming in, because 80% chance of showers Thursday. But luckily for us, Friday, it looks like things are going to get a little bit better, partly sunny with 60 degrees being the high. And then Saturday, we're looking at 65, partly sunny skies. We jump on to Sunday and it's 69 degrees, mostly sunny. But unfortunately, it looks like Monday, we might be possibly jumping back to that chance of showers. So be on the lookout for that, but you can enjoy a nice weekend, so you can be on the lookout for that as well, Lexi.
Thank you, Silver. In news across the pond, a historic moment in Brussels as Finland's flag is raised at NATO headquarters. The Scandinavian country officially becoming NATO's 31st member on the military alliance's 74th anniversary. It's a big step for Finland, a big step back for Vladimir Putin, who said part of his reason for invading Ukraine was to push back the NATO alliance. Instead, the Russian invasion prompted both Finland and Sweden to immediately apply for membership. NATO Secretary General says he welcomes Finland and Sweden and other nations who want to join the alliance.
Sends a clear message that every nation has the right to choose its own path, that NATO's door remains open and no one can close it with force or coercion.
President Biden released a statement hailing NATO's move to accept Finland. As for Sweden's bid, Turkey and Hungary have yet to ratify its NATO membership bid. Biden and other leaders are urging those two nations to move forward with ratification.
And after the break in sports, both Ohio baseball and softball are live as we speak. We'll check in on their non-conference matchups tonight, so stay tuned after the break. And to stay up to date with everything Newswatch, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
People ask, what was the American strategy? The Americans did not have a strategy for Afghanistan.
Drawing on years of reporting from both sides of the war.
You set off a car bomb, it's going to kill innocent civilians.
This was fighting.
It wasn't clear they had the patience or the understanding.
We asked an enormous amount of those on the ground in particular.
Missteps, and miscalculations.
Why did we fail on our mission, and who was responsible?
Part 1 premieres Tuesday, April 4th, 10, 9 Central, only on PBS.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, heirloom surprises revealed.
That's astonishing. Just my great-grandmother's old cards.
I hope my daughters are going to be interested in it enough to pass it on down through the generations.
I'll say your great-great-great-grandfather looks like Paul McCartney, even with the British haircut,
Yeah.
right?
It's Antiques Roadshow, next time from the Idaho Botanical Garden in Boise.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
These adorable, seemingly passive fur balls are in fact the ultimate survivors. Within their bite-sized frame lies a fighter, able to outwit the many predators that surround them. From frozen forests to concrete jungles, we take you deep into their changing world. We'll reveal just how remarkable rabbits really are.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Giant craters were spotted in Russia.
The frozen world of permafrost is melting,
The ground exploded.
releasing planet-warming gases.
There's a huge amount of methane and natural gas trapped in the permafrost.
What will it mean for our climate?
It's a scary wild card in the climate change story.
Could really affect everyone on Earth.
Arctic sinkholes on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Welcome back. Happy Tuesday, everyone, and I'm Ethan Sargent with sports. Both Ohio baseball and softball are in action tonight after completing sweeps in Athens this past weekend. Let's start with the Bobcat baseball squad who host Morehead State tonight at Bob Wren Stadium. Ohio will look to carry their newfound momentum against another set of Eagles tonight. Morehead State is visiting Athens, and as of now, it's the Eagles on top, 12-2 in the top of the 7th inning. Starting pitchers tonight were Eagle freshman Ethan Davis, who comes in having only pitched 6 2/3 innings all season, and Tyler Peck for Ohio, who has a 6.08 RA in 13 innings. This will be the second matchup for these two squads, with the Eagles taking a high-scoring battle 19-14 back on March 21st. Ohio broke out the brooms this weekend, sending the Eastern Michigan Eagles back to their nest with their tails between their legs. Craig Moore was thrilled with his team's ability to fight back. Switching over to the hottest team in Athens, Ohio softball gets an in-state matchup with the team up north. Of course, I'm referring to the Ohio State University, who hosts the Bobcats tonight at Buckeye Field in Columbus. First pitch was thrown at 6 p.m. and it's still deadlocked at 0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Ohio State are 21-11, but were swept this past weekend by the Indiana Hoosiers in Bloomington. The Bobcats have won 9 games in a row, and things couldn't be going better for Coach Jenna Hall in year 1 at the helm. Ohio is firing on all cylinders with both electrifying pitching and efficient hitting being the boons of good fortune for the Bobcats. They dispatched Ball State this past weekend with 2 of their 3 victories, ending via the run rule. That followed 2 series sweeps on the road at Bowling Green and Akron. This hot streak has catapulted the Bobcats to the top of the MAC standings with a 9-2 overall record in the conference. First baseman Alexis Daw has returned from injury and has posted an insane .625 average in 7 games. After such a successful week, it only seems right that the Bobcats sweep the softball awards this week in the MAC. Your softball player of the week, Yasmin Logan. The junior was 9 for 18 with 3 home runs and 12 RBIs, as well as 12 runs scored and 2 stolen bases. The outfielder from Pittsburgh has been an integral part of Ohio's success so far this season. And as mentioned, the accolades just don't stop there, as graduate transfer Kylie Kofelt picked up MAC Pitcher of the Week. 2 complete game wins help her case, as she only allowed a total of 1 earned run through both victories. She pitched 13 innings and picked up 5 strikeouts while allowing just 2 walks. And let me tell you, these two teams, they're building something special so far this season. A combined 13 wins in a row coming into today.
Oh my goodness, talk about an award-winning team, and Coach Jenna Hall, first year as head coach for softball, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What an impressive run.
What a win streak. That's so exciting. I think even if you're not in the sports, like Silver was saying, the weather's so nice, you might as well go watch a game while they're winning.
They're going to play Big Brother up north today in Ohio State. We'll see if they can get the job done. We should stay tuned to Bobcat Showcase to find out how that one goes down.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up after the break, how Ohio Sheriff's deputies are saving lives 1 goat at a time. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
You are kidding me!
On Finding Your Roots, Billy Crudup.
These are the forces that shape our lives, you know?
Yeah. And Tamara Mowry.
You know when you always say, I got it from my mama?
A patriot helped settle a city.
How could this not have been passed down?
And an ancestor challenges the establishment.
He was a religious radical.
That's insane!
Plus, a DNA match.
Are you kidding me? Get out of here.
Finding Your Roots. New episode April 4th on PBS and the PBS app.
Giant craters were spotted in Russia.
The frozen world of permafrost is melting,
The ground exploded.
releasing planet-warming gases.
There's a huge amount of methane and natural gas trapped in the permafrost.
What will it mean for our climate?
It's a scary wild card in the climate change story.
It could really affect everyone on Earth.
Arctic sinkholes on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
These adorable, seemingly passive fur balls are in fact the ultimate survivors. Within their bite-sized frame lies a fighter, able to outwit the many predators that surround them. From frozen forests to concrete jungles, we take you deep into their changing world. We'll reveal just how remarkable rabbits really are.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
People ask, what was the American strategy? The Americans did not have a strategy for Afghanistan.
Drawing on years of reporting from both sides of the war.
You set off a car bomb, it's going to kill innocent civilians.
This was fighting.
It wasn't clear they had the patience or the understanding.
We asked an enormous amount of those on the ground in particular.
Missteps and miscalculations.
Why did we fail on our mission, and who was responsible?
Part 1 premieres Tuesday, April 4th, 10, 9 Central, only on PBS.
Finally tonight, Ohio Sheriff deputies are saving lives one goat at a time. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office received a call on Monday about a herd of goats running near Interstate 270 in Prairie Township. When they got there, they found 2 lost and lonely goats. The deputies rescued them from the busy street. The animals are now safe and at a local farm. How cute!
And for tonight, we are looking at a 61 overnight low. 20% of possible thunderstorms tonight, so definitely be careful if you have any plans tonight. But tomorrow, we do want to stay aware of that 30% that's going to sneak on in. It's going to sneak in mostly towards the afternoon, so you should be fine in the morning time. But you do want to make sure that throughout the day that you do start preparing for that storm that's going to kick into. And even though the temperature high says 85 and it's going to be a little bit warm, still thunderstorms will happen and they will come. So be careful for that, especially tomorrow night. That's when we will see those thunderstorms, and they're going to be severe with some damaging winds. So again, prepare for your power outages in case they do happen. Now Thursday, tomorrow, excuse me, not tomorrow, but Thursday, 80% chance of showers and 58, that weather temperature is going to drop down. And then Friday, we'll get to 60 degrees. So it's going to stay pretty much in the 60s, even from the lower 60s to the mid 60s, but it looks like it's going to warm up Saturday and Sunday, reaching 69. And then even Monday is going to get a little warmer, but we do possibly experience some more rain coming on in.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. For all of us here at Newswatch, I'm Lexi Leploff.
And I'm Morgan Anderson. Stay tuned for PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news at WUB.org or follow us on social media. We leave you with a look outside of West Palm Beach Airport, where Trump is expected to leave for Mar-a-Lago after a historic day in New York. Have a great night.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're on.
Why?
10 minutes.
Support comes from Visit Athens County. More information can be found at AthensOhio.com. Athens, it's more than a place.